Hey guys, welcome back to JK Garage. Today's the big day.
We haven't even finished our first project, but
Yeah.
yes.
Our first project's getting his four-wheel drive to work again. That one I didn't record because it was just such a bitch I didn't feel like recording.
We just replaced the transfer case switch.
Yeah, we replaced the four-wheel. Yeah, it's a four-wheel drive switch that goes off the transfer case that actuates the vacuum for the fucking four-wheel drive to activate and vacuum. Why the fuck do they use vacuum? Why don't they just stick with the fucking shift stick like my truck?
Cause Chevy and their fucking vacuums.
Yeah, they like vacuum. So, but other than that, today's the big day. We have the Corolla in here.
We almost. So another thing, we almost did that to my vehicle first, cause we thought our issue with the fucking pop thing sounded like a fucking diesel was my injectors.
Yeah, we thought, his truck had a big issue where it was not running good at all, misfiring on cylinder 5 specifically constantly.
So if you ever heard of a sputter injector, you know what the fuck I'm talking about and how fucking
the injectors go down like this.
They know if they know. It's horrible.
It's terrible. It works amazing
until they don't.
Until they don't.
Which is everything. But next part is, see, the more I work on it, the more I want to take it apart. But we're gonna do this one first. So I'm super excited.
Today is gonna be fun.
No,
well, this whole month is gonna be fun.
We're just taking off the hood.
Yeah, we're just gonna, we're gonna do
taking off the bonnet.
We're doing the easy shit. We're taking off the hood. We're taking off the back place. And like I said, we're doing the easy shit. We're pulling the motor out.
Tonight?
No.
I'm not ready for this.
But the motor's coming out. I've been fighting the issue that I've been showing you guys for a while now. You can probably see it in the race day video. When I took off, you saw that blue smoke shoot out the back. Car was running great.
He also can't launch it.
I also can't launch it. But I'm burning oil like fucking crazy.
Yeah, when you turned it on to fucking rev it again.
Yeah, I wanted to rev it one last time.
Just spit out here.
Yeah, white and blue is just coming out everywhere. So I just ordered fucking $1,400 of parts for this thing. I got everything needed to push this car to 300 horsepower. With that said, that means I got my valves. I got the valve seals. I got the titanium valve springs. I got the titanium retainers. Everything on this will be top of the line head stuff. On top of that, I also got a 9.0 to 1.
The best head you ever had.
Well, no. The head's coming off, obviously. So we got to take out the timing chain. We got to take off the fucking cams. Everything's got to come out. But on the bright side of that, we have to pull the motor, which I was looking it up. It's not too hard on these engines to pull. We just have to pull all the wires off, all the lines off, the intake, the exhaust manifold off. It's not going to be too hard. The turbo can stay in there, luckily. We just have to unplug everything.
So I suggested to him to fucking rewrap this. It bugs me every fucking time how horrible it looks.
The other reason why it's that horrible is because I have these little wires here holding stuff to the side.
We need to figure that shit out too.
I'm gonna make, while the engine's out, we can make brackets.
We're gonna make brackets. We're gonna make this actually not look like a fucking rat's nest.
Yeah, we're gonna clean this whole thing up with the motor out because it's gonna be a lot easier with the motor out.
I wish we can sink this farther down, but we can't.
I know it sucks. It has to be on top. If I had the turbo down on the back,
on this side we can drape it over.
Yeah, but that's fine. We have everything. So this is how it is. This is how we're gonna have it. But we just need to unhook everything. We're gonna pull the motor out, and I'm going through everything. And like I was saying before, I got 9.0 to 1 compression Wiseco pistons for this. Those are a pain in my pocket. But
do the same thing to mine.
Shut up. This car has a 10 to 1 compression ratio. I'm going to drop it to a 9 to 1 for turbo. The pistons I got are rated for 600 horsepower. All the valve stuff is rated for like 500 horsepower. And by that time, I can boost up my turbo to around 13 pounds of boost reliably. And I'm also getting, there are coated rod bearings and ARP rod studs. Those are going in. Those are also rated for the 500, 600 area. Everything I'm putting into this car is rated for around 500 horsepower. Ballpark range. I'm going to be pushing it to about 300 with the built motor. So this is going to be fun.
Woo. Next is my truck, which would be 10 times easier.
Not with those fucking vacuum lines.
I said the engine, not the vacuum line.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so we're going to start by, we're going to take off the...
Does this even have vacuum lines?
I got 1, I got 2, I got 3,
I mean, on
I
a
got
stock
4,
fucking motor.
I got 1.
That's better vacuum lines than the fucking rubber ones.
That's not a vacuum line, never mind.
I need rubber vacuum lines.
1, 2.
That's bullshit.
Let's go!
5, wait, 1, 2, 3,
You have like 7.
5. Wait,
That whole truck is run off a vacuum.
Let me look.
But,
Yeah, that's bullshit.
all right, so we'll get back to you when we get this whole phaser off. We're not going to do anything else today. That'll be in the next clip that's coming up right after this. But yeah.
7.
So
7 vacuum lines.
nice. So we're going to pull this all off, whole phaser off, and get this ready to be pulled out. We're just going to pull off this stuff today. The next time I start recording, we're going to pull everything else off, all the plugs and everything. It's not going to be too hard. Everything is quite out there for us to just put back in. So,
Isn't it great having a small motor?
yeah.
That you don't have that you have actually some room.
Yeah.
I have a fucking V6 in a, what? Is that
That's a V6 in a tiny ass fucking
Yeah.
engine bay. I have a 4-cylinder with a turbo in the same size bay.
Hey, they slam fucking twin turbos in this with a V8 in there.
I know, it's fucking insane.
Make fucking room.
Yeah, hammer in the firewall, right?
With enough time, money, and experience, you can fit any motor in any vehicle. How much that's true, I don't know. That's what my father told me.
All right, so we'll get back to you guys when we pull this all off and when we are going to the next portion. Yay! Oh, we got everything off the top. So, as you see from when I did the turbo build, the unequal headers, the down pipe, the up pipe, all that good shit. Yeah, so it's yeah, we're getting ready. We're gonna stop here tonight, but we already get the plans. We know what we got to do. We can see everything now, so we know what we have to pull off. We know what we have to mark. Luckily, it looks like we don't really have to mark much because the harness goes right out to where everything is.
The plan: do we drink before or after? Or
During.
All 3.
Okay. This is gonna be a fun project. It's gonna be a few weekends.
We have not
I
done
think
anything like this.
I think pulling the motor will be like a day to 2 days. Pulling the motor will be like a day to 2 days.
I think we're doing a day.
Probably.
Doesn't look too bad.
Making sure, right. But then once the motor's out, I think the longest part will be 1, doing all the valves, and then 2, putting the motor back in. That'll be the 2 hardest parts.
That fucker up.
Yeah.
We had a hard time.
Because we have to pull the trans.
Oh, fuck.
Trans ain't coming out with this. I mean, it could.
No.
But we have to pull my turbo out to do that.
No.
No, trans is staying in. That's gonna be. That's not bad.
It was a bitch to line up your truck.
Yeah.
But that's an inline 6 versus.
Yeah, that was a bitch to begin with. This is a lot easier.
We didn't really pull it all the way out either.
No, we just lifted it up as high as it could go.
Oh, we have to do that in my truck too.
Yeah.
My Raymond seal.
No, we just have to pull the trans off.
Still.
Dude, trans is a lot easier on that.
Yeah. Trans
was a bitch on this.
So we don't even have to fucking jack it up.
Right.
For me, I don't have to jack it up.
Yeah.
You got stuck into there. And
I know, I got stuck. I got covered in shit.
Scrawny bitch.
All right, so this is probably, we're going to leave this part here. We'll come back in the next segment.
Tomorrow, maybe.
Maybe tomorrow, yeah.
Depending on my truck.
Yeah. But yeah, so that section's coming up. We're gonna do the one video will be pulling the motor out. That'll be this one. Then the next video will be taking everything off the motor. That'll be the next one. And well, after that we'll be, you know, doing the head.
Are you actually recording?
And the next video will be we're gonna figure out the pistons. And then the next video is gonna be and then
I just saw it. You're recording right now.
Alright, and then the video after that. Alright guys, well, starting to unplug everything. I got the injectors unplugged, I got these 2 bolts out, I got the front part of the intercooler pipe out going in. So this is just for like also my purpose as well, to make sure I put all these plugs right back where they came from. And I'm gonna get more when I start pulling out the plugs in the back, but right now I'm taking care of the front of the engine. I'm gonna try and get, I don't think I have to take the intake manifold off. So I'm gonna leave that on for now and see if I can pull the engine with it. If not, I'm gonna have to pull it without it, but that's not a big problem. So here we go. All right, so now we're at the back of the engine. So it looks like I got a couple plugs down there. Just gonna leave that on there for a second so I can analyze it after. Got a plug there. I gotta figure out what I gotta do here. But this is from the back of the motor. It doesn't look like there's many. So I'm gonna get ready and start pulling these out. Alright guys, so I got most of the plugs undone. Actually, all the ones in the back are taken off. So now I'm going to take off the ones in the front here. So I do have to actually pull the manifold because there's a couple plugs underneath it, and I got to get it off the alternator. All these plugs are going to get taken off and shoved to the side, and then I'll be able to unhook everything, drain all the fluids in the car, unhook the radiator, and I can pull the whole motor right out from here. So we're getting there. We're almost there. So since all those plugs are taken out, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts there, and one that I pulled out down below. That one is like right there. You cannot see that on here at all. Right there. There we go. So yeah, with all those pulled, I can then start pulling the rest of the lines after I drain the fluids. I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight. We'll see. Yeah, so we're getting there. We're almost there. She's almost ready. Once I do that and I pull the wires to the side, I got to unhook the transmission from the engine, and then get ready to find my mounting points to hook up the engine hoist so I can lift the fucker right out. And then we'll start tackling the engine, but that'll be in the next video. So once we get this here ready, I'll film again when we start to pull the engine, and hopefully it goes smoothly. So we'll see. I'm hoping. So here goes nothing, right? All right, guys. Well, I got the intake manifold off. I got the alternator off. Manifold's there. Alternator's there. I took my catch can off. Realized something really bad. Well, not really bad, but very confusing. And I had oil mixing with gas, and it was getting into the catch can somehow. Don't know how that happened, but now I'm gonna show off the plugs here. So, of course, the throttle body's off, obviously, so I can get to the alternator. I mean, not to the intake manifold, but all these plugs go into here. That one goes on the starter. The one right there goes to the knock sensor. The plug right here goes to the ground on the starter. Then we have the plug right there going to, looks like the AC pump. I think this is the AC pump because that line goes to here, which tells me AC. Then there's a plug, let's see, yeah, right there, come on, that plug moving right there goes to the bottom of the AC pump. But now that I've got that all taken apart and got this out, that was satisfying. But now I can pull this harness up. So this is all unhooked. So now the motor's almost ready to come out. That's where my thermostat is. Oh, that's a bitch to get to. Cool. Didn't know where the thermostat was on this car, and it's right there, and I'm not happy about it. But actually, speaking of thermostat, when I do this, I have an alternate temperature one that lowers the temperature of the engine by like 10 degrees. That's what I gotta put in for the turbo setup, so the motor runs a little bit cooler. Just thought of that. Awesome. All right, so now she's about ready for fluids to be drained. So I'm gonna quit for tonight. I'll come back the next time I work on this, probably tomorrow, and we'll start draining all the fluids. So coolant, oil. I gotta figure out how that's gonna work with the AC. I gotta figure out how if I could just pull the AC pump off without having to unhook anything, because I don't want to fuck with AC. It's gonna be a bitch to do anyways. So, all right, I'm gonna quit for tonight. Get all this shit out of there. I have to take the vacuum and vacuum that out. But I think I ran out of diesel, so the heater turned off. Yay. But we're done for the night. I'll catch you guys when we start draining the fluids. All right, guys, well, got the radiator drained out. It's still dripping some coolant. I have a can in here to catch it. Everything's drained out. All the fluids are. Now we just gotta get the AC compressor unhooked. After that is unhooked, we then have to unhook the clutch sleeve, the transmission, the exhaust manifold, and then undo the engine mounts, and she's ready to come out. At least I think she is. So we're gonna bank on that. So yeah. So we're also working on this a little bit. Just sneak peek. We got so pissed at this truck that the video kind of went shit. So just update on this one. We fixed the engine. It was running like absolute ass. Like it sounded like it was cammed even though it wasn't. We found out after replacing the EGR valve, the PCV, and the MAP sensor, we found out that it was literally just the distributor. That pissed us off, but we changed the distributor. Now the truck runs absolutely phenomenal, but the four-wheel drive, yeah, way better than it did even before it had issues. But now we don't have four-wheel drive, so we decided to
follow this fucking line.
Follow this line, figure out where everything is.
And
found out
asshole unplugged some of my vacuum line.
Me and Owen did it.
I wasn't around.
We unplugged some of his lines and found out we unplugged the four-wheel drive line. So now we gotta find it and put it back in. Besides the point. They're gonna do that. Well, I have Connor as well now. He's here. So now we're getting ready to pull this out. They're working on that. I'm working on this. And this is just about ready. So here goes nothing. Well, guys, I got pissed, so I didn't record much, but after a couple hours or so, we got it out. Definitely would not recommend pulling the engine with the trans still in. So what I'm going to do is when I go to put this back in, I'm going to have to find a way to drop the trans down so I can put the motor back in through the top, because I do not think that this will come out with it still attached. We'll see, but now that it's out, I can start working on cleaning up the bay, fixing my exhaust issues that I continuously have over here, and then start working on the engine, start tearing her apart, get the head off, undo the timing, start replacing all the valve components that I got, and then pull off the bottom end so I can then pull out the pistons and change out the piston heads, reinstall it with the new bearings and the studs. Then the engine will be done. Then I got to figure out how I'm going to get it back into the car. But once she's in and going, she's going to kick ass. So it's almost there. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do for the trans. it's gonna be a bitch because I think the trans goes underneath the frame rail there. But if I can unhook the mount, I'm gonna get the turbo out. I'm gonna pull everything out, exhaust, everything. And so I can unhook the mount, get the mount completely out so I can see how this goes and how this is supposed to work. And once that's done, I can see how the trans comes out. I know I'm just repeating myself, but this is just so I remember what I gotta do. I can fix, I'm gonna weld this, and I'm gonna put a V-band here, up here. I'm gonna weld a V-band here, so I can, you know, solidify this section that's, you know, loose. I gotta pull the CV axles out. It's gonna be a time and a half, but it's definitely doable. I mean, we got the engine out, you know, scraping a bit. But we did the impossible, or what they say is the impossible, and we got the engine out with the trans still in. So we'll figure that out. I might even be able to leave the CV axles in and just tip it back. I don't know. We'll see. I might just pull the entire transmission out. That might be the easiest way to do it. But that concludes part 1 of getting the Corolla ready to be built. Engine's out. She's ready to go. I'm going to start, like I said, cleaning it up, cleaning everything over, making sure it's going to go smoothly, and just figure out how the hell I'm going to get this to work with the trans. It's going to be a bitch. Oh, well, if I take... Yeah, that works. If I take this transmission mount off from the transmission itself and from the side here, I should be able to pull the whole thing out and undo the mount that's back there. And if I take the exhaust out, which I'm going to have to do, then I'll be able to... Okay, I think I figured out how I'm going to do this. So yeah, that concludes episode 1 of the Corolla build. Engine's out. So it's time to start getting her ready to be torn apart. But yeah, so part 1 of many. So also sneak peek, I just ordered the intake manifold on the truck. I'm going to be putting that 2-barrel carburetor in soon. She's going to get some power. That's going to be a hell of a lot easier than this. When I'm hoping I can get this done by spring, because I really want to have this car for the summer. Built, tuned, gone through. But yeah, so that concludes it on this one, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.